Okay, we are live. We're back. So I came in a little earlier, about an hour ago or so. Maybe it was a half hour ago, and I uploaded the video. So I gave you guys a chance to watch the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you did watch it, and I hope you did get something out of it. Phil, what's up, buddy? How's it going? I've got the audio turned off on the chat. I can turn that back on. Oh, okay. Let's see what's going on with that. Okay, let's change the speakers here to... There we go. Phil. So, Phil, did you get a chance to watch the video I uploaded? We're going to go over that video on this live show, but, you know, I've got things to say about it. That it's actually... I rushed it out. I rushed the video
Phil,
out, and
good.
I can do better. But it's a little...
Phil, I did.
I hope you enjoyed it. It's a little bit, it can be a little bit overwhelming because it's a lot. I did 20 minutes of video. It's a lot. It's not like a short little 2-minute clip, you know. It's 20 minutes. But at the same time, there's a lot to cover. We're exposing Jimmy Dore, Tim Pool, and Joe Rogan, and Ron DeSantis, the state of Florida, and all the people that support those guys, all simultaneously. And there was a guy that I follow on Twitter. His name's Turbo Jerko, and he came in here while I was uploading the video, but I wasn't watching. I was having breakfast with my mom. But I came back here after I'd uploaded the video, and I noticed he left a comment. And I'd love to address what Turbo Jerko said earlier. Maybe he came back, maybe he didn't, whatever. I got respect for this guy. So what he said was, DeSantis is basically a stupid, typical piece of shit neocon with one or two okay policies. I'd like to know what you think those one or two okay policies are. That's the first thing I'd ask you. What do you like about Ron DeSantis? He says, then Turbo Jerko goes on to say, and Dore does not promote DeSantis. I'm not saying he promotes him. What I'm saying is he picks and chooses what he says about DeSantis. There's a lot about DeSantis that he should be talking about, but he only talks about this one thing. Now, in doing that, he does promote DeSantis, okay? So you're wrong. Let me just give you a kind of analogy, okay? And I'm going to use my dog as an example, okay? A little anecdotal analogy, I like to call them. So my dog, he likes to grab large pieces of wood and rip them apart. You know, just like a vicious animal. He grabs them and he rips them up. I could tell people, yeah, my dog loves sticks. You know, and he likes the wood.
Florida infrastructure would probably be the only thing.
Infrastructure, okay. Ron DeSantis, I don't know how long he's been governor of Florida for. Okay, Google. How long has Governor Ron DeSantis been governor of Florida for?
According to Wikipedia, Ronald Dion DeSantis, born September 14, 1978, is an American attorney and politician who has served as the 46th governor of Florida since 2019.
Yeah, so
before assuming the governorship, DeSantis represented Florida.
Now, if I remember correctly, the elections happened late. Now, I don't know if that was January or December. It makes a difference. What I do know is this. He's only been here for 3 years. This infrastructure here in the state of Florida, it didn't happen in 3 years. Okay? So you can try to say that Governor Ron DeSantis, you could try to credit him with what was already built in this state before he took it over. And in 3 years, not that much has changed in 3 years.
Phil, Sir HES not...
No, he's not. He's only been here for 3 years. You know how long it takes to build highways, bro? Longer than 3 years, man. And that's basically what they've been doing here for 12 years since I left. In fact, they'd started this construction 12 years ago when I left. And about, when I got here 5 years ago to visit my family, I was blown away by the infrastructure of Florida. That was before Governor Ron DeSantis was here, and the infrastructure was already kick-ass. So, you're not going to get to credit him with the infrastructure of the state of Florida, okay? So, try, my mom's in there laughing. Try to give me something else. Try to give me another example. A good policy from Ron DeSantis if you want. I couldn't care less. I couldn't care. I'm not here to promote him at all. Anything good he does. I don't care if he helped an old lady cross the street and saved a baby's life. I don't care. It doesn't make up for all the horrible things that man does. All the people that he hates. And all the people he has hoodwinked, like Jimmy Dore, Tim Pool, and Joe Rogan, that are his foot soldiers that go out there and only talk about this one little aspect of him and not all the thousands of horrible shit that he does. Now, if Turbo Jerko was here, that's what him and I could debate right now. But unfortunately, I don't think he made it back in here. But I do, like I said, I do appreciate him coming in and saying the things that he said. I would, beg to defer on several things and maybe agree to disagree on several things with him and maybe agree on some things that he said too. But it would be great,
So HES still a big zero. Sorry, Ron. I tried.
Why? Why are you trying to help Ron DeSantis? That's what Jimmy Dore is doing. That's what Joe Rogan's doing. That's what Tim Pool is doing. Why do you want to pile onto that, Phil? Don't you hear me all the time talking about him? Did you see the video? Phil, you saw the video? You saw it. Yeah, you said you saw the video I put up. I mean, it basically shows the hypocrisy behind all the people that defend him. If you had read all of the...
It was
sarcasm. Oh, that's good. Oh, thank you, dude. Thank you. Yeah, sarcasm. Okay, I get the sarcasm, totally. Now, thank you. Okay. But if you watch, and we're going to go through this, and if you watch the video, there's clips in between the video clips of information. And that information debunks everything that was just said. I think one of the most important things that you can walk away with from my video, I don't know if I want to cover this right now, or if I want to take you guys into it and show it to you. I'm losing viewers, a lot of them. Are you guys running out on me, or is it? Are we reconsolidating? Oh boy, what the hell's going on? Where's everybody going? I haven't even played the video and gone over it with y'all yet. Haven't even started the video yet. Isaac Patton Olson says follow. Thank you, Isaac. I hope you're following me. Hello? Are we still live, guys? Now I'm down to 5 people watching. Wow, dude, I had a whole bunch of people here. Now it's down to 5 viewers, man. Is something going on?
Nick Brown.
Good job on the video.
Good job on the video, bro.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you for sharing that, or for liking it at least. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I hope you guys will retweet it at Jimmy, separately retweet it at Joe Rogan, and retweet it at Tim Pool, Timcast, at Timcast on Twitter. Please, tweet it at Miserable Lib, tweet it at Ronnie Placone, at Ron Placone, tweet it at Graham Elwood, tweet it at Tim Black, tweet it at, the President of the United States, the Vice President, tweet it at Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump. I don't care. It's tweeted at every human being that you possibly can.
Nick?
Be Docky Hollandaise, man. I want all of you guys to be Docky Hollandaise today. He doesn't just tweet to one person when he tweets. And I know he drives some people crazy, because he includes people in those tweets. But, try doing it one at a time. Do one retweet at Jimmy, one retweet at Joe, one retweet at Tim Pool. Maybe they'll see it. Maybe one of them. I guarantee you, if you retweet this at Miserable Lib, Jimmy Dore's going to see the video. She's going to be like, oh my God, you should see what Ben Shader said about you now. And they're going to both sit there, get high, and watch my video. And laugh at me and never talk to me. And next time they need triage oral, oh yeah, they'll hit me up again and act like my best friend. But they won't return a message like me saying, you only paid me for half the last order that I gave you guys. No response on that. I was like, well, okay then. This is what I get. This is what happens to me for calling people out on their truth or their narratives. And these guys won't call each other out. And what I'm kind of curious is if you feel like I'm doing a good job in calling the 3 of them out, or do you feel like I'm attacking you in some way? Maybe you're a Ron DeSantis fan, like I was thinking maybe Phil was. He's obviously not. Maybe you're a Joe Rogan fan. I am. Maybe you're a Jimmy Dore fan. I am. Maybe you're a Tim Pool fan. Well, that would make you an idiot. You tweeted the YouTube video at them? Thank you, Nick Brown. Thank you. That is just so much that you do for me. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you so much, brother. Thank you. And the rest of you can do that too, but, there's only 5 other people here. I don't care. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my content, and if people don't want to watch it, it's on them, man. You know, it's on them. And when Ron DeSantis becomes president of the United States, and you guys hadn't shared this video to anybody at all, and he does something that affects you, your child, your friends, you know, your way of life, whatever it is, your freedom of speech, whatever it is, your ability to vote, whatever it is, don't come crying to me about it. We had our opportunity. It's right now. This video is, you hear that? That's opportunity knocking, guys. Don't let it pass you by. It's a retweet, it's a like, it's a share away. And all 7 of you could be my army. If I had 7 people doing this for me, dude, this thing would blow up. If all 7 of you would adhere to this policy and retweet it at all those guys, jump on board, play some ball, people. You know, some people are going to hear these words. Hey, here's a person you can send to. Sends it at shut the fuck up shitlib. There's a guy. He absolutely won't touch this stuff, man. He thinks he's all, oh yeah, he's one pissed off American. Oh, not when Jimmy Dore's not making sense. Then all of a sudden, oh, he's a line toter. All of a sudden, he's a narrative bringer for Jimmy. You know, he doesn't want to say anything bad about Ron DeSantis. Because these guys know that this guy's poised to become president of the United States, and they want to be on the good graces of all the people that support him, I guess. I don't know. It's psychotic. When you realize how bad somebody is, it's almost like Adolf Hitler, and I'm not comparing these guys to Adolf Hitler if they look at it this way, but I'm using him as an example. It's like Adolf Hitler had all of his cronies, you know, all of the SS underneath him, and they did everything he said. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take over the government. And they're like, yeah, we're going to kick all those people out of the government. They're all like, yeah, we're going to convert all of our children into Hitler youth and make them support us so that when they grow up, we're even stronger. And everyone's like, yeah, Heil Hitler. And then he's like, yeah, and we're going to kill all the Jews. And he's like, everyone's like, okay, I guess we're killing the Jews now. But they're going to go along with it because by this time, they're already sold on the narrative. Now, I'm not comparing Joe Rogan, Jimmy Dore, and Tim Pool to Adolf Hitler. I reserve that for people like Ben Shapiro. But, you know, and Steven Crowder, you know, some of those right-wingers, like Candace Owens, she's like an Adolf Hitler, you know, but not these other people. And I wouldn't even call Tim Pool that. I wouldn't even classify Tim Pool in that genre of, you know, being so backwards ass. All he is a Republican. That's what Tim Pool is. And if you want to call every Republican Adolf Hitler, then okay, then you could do that. But he's a Republican, and I understand that you guys say, no, Tim Pool's an independent. He says every day he's an independent. He's an independent. Man, he loves Ron DeSantis, and he loves Ron DeSantis' policies. Now, I didn't get really into Tim Pool because if you just go to his channel right now and you type in Ron DeSantis, it's all, Ron DeSantis who told give the government the big finger. Oh, Ron DeSantis did this. Oh, Ron DeSantis is Superman. Man, he can go around the world and change time, man. He can turn the clocks backwards, man. Ron DeSantis is our savior. That's Tim Pool. You expect that from a Republican. Because Ron DeSantis, for him, is a better choice than Donald Trump would be for Tim Pool. You know, of course, Tim Pool supported Donald Trump too, but now, hey, there's a kinder, gentler version of Donald Trump. At least it seems that way. But I promise you, he's way worse. Ron DeSantis is way worse. And it's not just because he's good at what he does, and it's not just because he's smooth. It's his fucking racist, anti-woman, anti-black person policies. Okay? He's, you know, Donald Trump, I'm Donald Trump. Oh, look, there's my African-American friend. Yeah, and he's going to keep the black people from renting from him and stuff like that. And he's very, he goes around, you know, he's very subversive in a very, ambiguous way. But Ron DeSantis, he's like, support me and all my supporters because we just hate the gays. We hate the blacks. We hate women. I mean, his policies speak louder than his words. And that should go for anybody. You know, you can listen to somebody say whatever they want to say, whenever they say it. You can agree with it and get along and whatever. Or you can just look and see how they act. What would that guy do in this situation? How does he write legislation? And who does it hurt? Who does Ron DeSantis' legislation hurt the most? Women. People of color. You know, and trans people. LGBTQ. And the list goes on. You know, there's a lot of people on that list. And hopefully there's enough people that don't watch Joe Rogan or see what he says and realize that he doesn't know what he's talking about, and that will stand up against this Ron DeSantis as becoming president of the United States. Look, there's a lot of people that would make a worse president. There's a lot of people who'd make a worse president as far as leadership skills and understanding things and whatever. But there aren't that many people who would be more evil towards Americans than Ron DeSantis. And you remember that. You know, he's all polished and he's ex-military and he looks good and he sounds good. He sounds very unshakable. He sounds very sure of himself. When he speaks, he's very calm. He's calming when he speaks. It almost sounds like when he speaks to you that you're hearing from a teacher or someone you trust. He's got that whole politician smoothness thing mastered, like Barack Obama did. You know, Ron DeSantis is like Barack Obama politically. You know, when it comes to his delivery, when it comes to his professionalism, when people listen to him, they got a good feeling about him. Oh, I feel good about this guy. It worked on Joe Rogan. It certainly worked on Jimmy Dore, and it definitely worked on Tim Pool. All fanboys of Ron DeSantis. There's no doubting any of that. There's no denying it. But I've digressed so far. Let's get into the video. Let me just start explaining some of the things.
Good morning, Nay and
Hey, Keith, what's up, buddy?
Phil. Gift for Smooth Gab.
Yes, Smooth Gab. He's excellent at it. And if you're going to give somebody credit, if you hate them the most, but you're going to give them credit for some of the things that you recognize about him, yeah, man, he's a real smooth operator. That's why he's gotten where he is with all the hate. You know, I couldn't do it. I put out all the hate and all the things like he does, vitriol and vile vulgarities and all that. But because of that, because I take it too far, I can't make any headway with anybody. Nobody wants to listen to me. Nobody wants to stick around and support me. But Ron DeSantis, he's got millions of Floridians and millions of Americans love him too now. The more they hear, the more they like.
Was finishing video just now.
Oh, Big Mark, what's up? We're going to go through that video again, but this time you're going to get my commentary on it. Like I said, I rushed it. There's a few points that I really want to hammer down on this video. Okay? So let's get into it, all right, guys?
Yeah, I think Ron DeSantis will work as a good president. I mean, what he's done for Florida has been admirable.
Look, I feel like I'm doing breaking news right now. That wasn't even on purpose.
I feel like what he did for Florida, a lot of people gave him a lot of grief, but ultimately he was correct. He was correct when it comes to like deaths.
What he's focusing on is early treatment, getting you the monoclonals. And I went nuts.
He was correct when it comes to protecting all vulnerable populations. He was correct in terms of distribution of monoclonal antibodies.
Okay. So one of the things that you guys might not have been able to do was pause the video and read some of the information that I put up in between. Now, the very first thing that I put up was a clip that we're going to see a little later. I use these clips repeatedly. The very first clip was this little collection right here. Let's go through these really fast.
Nuts.
Okay, Florida COVID-19 cases remain high as deaths surpass 77,000. Now, this was July 22nd. This is very recent. Now, understand, most of the Jimmy Dore video, most of the Tim Pool video that I'm using is from at least 8 months ago. But my point was, back when they were saying it, I was on this show debunking them, telling them that Florida was the absolute worst case state in the country, and they were saying the exact opposite. So I was right, and all of the articles that I put up here are from legitimate local Florida news sources, and all my sources are quoted right here. That's Tampa Bay Times right there. Now, one other thing you're going to notice is the sources that Jimmy Dore uses, and we're going to talk about that. But let me show you these clips. There's this one. There's this one. This is a fact check. Did the CDC Florida COVID numbers after record high posted? Did CDC correct Florida COVID numbers? So, yes, they did. And this article talks about Ron DeSantis lied about the numbers. This explains the one time that they caught him doing it and they corrected the numbers, but what it doesn't go through is all the other times that he and all the other steps that Ron DeSantis has literally taken over the last 2 years. He's taken steps to make sure that this information is altered, that what you see is not what Florida is getting. Understand? Hey, Josh G, what's up, buddy? Okay, so that's what this article is, and guess where this article comes from? It's from Newsweek. See? Newsweek.
He was correct when it comes to protecting our vulnerable populations. He was correct in terms
Josh
of
G,
distribution of
just
monoclonal
finished
antibodies.
watching your new video. Going to drop a comment after the live.
Thank you, Josh G. And please share the video too, Josh G, on Twitter to as many people as you can, especially all of the people that I included in the video. Please tweet it at them. Thank you so much. So this next part was Joe Rogan saying
he was correct when it comes to protecting our vulnerable populations. He was correct in terms of distribution.
Vulnerable populations. I didn't do that one, and I should have. I should have cut right after you said vulnerable populations. Vulnerable populations like, I don't know, women, LGBTQ, black people, people of color. Vulnerable populations? Really? Well, let me tell you something. Ron DeSantis has literally written and passed legislation against all of the marginalized groups that I just mentioned. So he wants to talk about one group of people that marginalized, that Ron DeSantis is looking out for. I say, who, Joe? Who are the marginalized that you're mentioning? Let's hear him say it again. And I only wish that I had included in the video some debunking of what Joe Rogan just said about marginalized with Ron DeSantis.
He was correct when it comes to protecting our vulnerable populations. He was correct in terms of distribution of monoclonal antibodies.
Yeah, vulnerable. So I said marginalized, but vulnerable, basically all the people I mentioned are vulnerable, right? Especially like little kids that are confused about their sexuality. In this state, man, they're considered pariahs. Not only that, but he gerrymandered the voting rights of black people, so they weren't able to vote. This is and it goes. The list goes on and on and on, man. He wants to control everything for all groups of people that are, I'm saying marginalized, but very similar. Now here's another one. Explainer: the link between Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Regeneron. What this article says is that Ron DeSantis's biggest donor is a giant owner of Regeneron stock. And this, if you go through that article, which it's from Tampa WFLA, which is a Florida reputable news source. And if you want to, you can go through that article and you can literally see why it was so important for Ron DeSantis to get everybody infected with COVID, so he and his donor buddy could make money off of selling you their cure. Okay, that's what that is. And that's all it is. And that's not about Ron DeSantis trying to give you freedoms or anything else, Joe Rogan. What it's about is him making money and his donors making money that they send to him for his when he's running for president of the United States, making more money. And this is how they launder that money and get it back into his hands. But at your expense. Nice, huh? Yeah. Yeah. So catch COVID and get a 40% chance of becoming diabetic. Catch COVID and a litany of other diseases become present all of a sudden. And they've documented this. It's psychotic. You don't want to catch COVID, okay? And Jimmy Dore going around saying that everybody's going to catch it. No, that's not true. Not everybody's going to catch it. People are isolated, man. Some people are isolated and they're not ever going to catch it. So it's a lie. Every time he says that, it's a lie. And there's people out there, when they catch that thing, they're going to die. So they spend their whole lives and everything they can do to stay away from this. And they're hopefully they persevere. They stay away from catching it, and they don't get all of these horrible other, long COVID symptoms and everything else that comes with it. You don't want to catch it, man. And it's like Jimmy Dore is trying to help people catch COVID. It's like, oh, I've had it a bunch of times. Oh, it presents as a cold and blah, 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 blah. So much that I couldn't put in this video, man, but I'm glad that I'm going over it now and explaining some of it. You like the music? I hope you like the music, too. People are going to try to control the truth. And there will be a ministry of truth, and people will decide for you what's true and what's not. That is exactly what he does. He's taken $3 million and he's put it towards a program at University of Florida with our taxpayer money, by the way. That's where that $3 million came from.
Music is perfect.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you, buddy. Under the stipulation that they do a program where they whitewash history. Whitewash is the perfect name for this, too. They don't want to talk about slavery. In college! That's literally what that program is doing. We could go through the whole article and I could explain it to you. They started with your little kids saying, we don't want little kids to be able to talk about being trans. We don't want little kids being exposed to American history. I'm not using the term CRT. It's American history. We don't want little kids to learn the history. Well, it's beyond little kids now, isn't it? Now, he's literally going after college-level students and trying to subvert their education in the history of this country. Psychotic? I don't know. You tell me. Are college kids adult enough? Are they mature enough to digest that kind of information? Ron DeSantis doesn't think so. But this is the kind of thing that you guys should really be concerned about, because this is the guy that's probably going to be running for president of the United States. That's the point, right? And you should know what he's about. I'm one of the only people. That right there, guys, is the most important part of this entire video. This guy's running for president of the United States of America. I'm exposing him. This video exposes him. You guys could take this and you could run with it. You could help me out, man. I'm telling you, you can help out the cause. You can help out the show. You could help defeat Ron DeSantis. Preferably, he doesn't even get, in the primaries. Hopefully he gets eliminated in the primaries. Hopefully there's enough information on the internet that it just gets thrown in his face that this is what you did to LGBTQ. This is what you did to black people. This is what you did to women. These are the things you did for abortion. These are the things you did to, undocumented people. He's a monster. The balls to tell you what it's really about. You're not going to find another podcaster outing Ron DeSantis like I do. He passed a law, right, that would force people, that would not let people give somebody a bottle of water if they're standing in line voting, because you're trying to change their vote by giving them a bottle of water. Let me know where the freaking upload is. It's like everybody's all hush-hush about it. Okay? All of my favorite podcasters. So what I'm saying here is, find me someone being critical.
I think he would be a little foolish to leave Florida. I think a lot of conservatives and Floridians agree with him, but I don't think it will be as many supporters as Trump's first go-round. Maybe him. Yeah, maybe you're wrong. I think you're wrong. You don't realize that when Joe Rogan and Jimmy Dore are talking about you and saying... G, being a little naive, but I'm stupid. It's okay. No, it's okay. When Joe Rogan and Jimmy Dore and Tim Pool, who speaks to Republicans, are saying all the good things that you've ever done and none of the bad things, you're not considering the power of these podcasters, man. And you really should, man. You don't discount the podcasters. I think a lot of my own audience discounts me, and they don't think that I can create a message that can reach people. So you don't share me, you're embarrassed by me, or whatever. Well, you're going to find out one day when I get picked up, you're going to be like, man, I had my chance to get in there with that guy, and now he won't even talk to me anymore because I never helped him when I had the opportunity to. Yeah, man, I look forward to that day when I can look at you and tell you to go fuck yourself for not helping me. Yeah, if it happens, trust me, if you're not retweeting me, if you're not sharing this shit around, I'll remember, man, because there's only 10 of you here.
I'll remember. There's not a lot of people.
None of them talk about Ron DeSantis.
You know,
in fact, some of my
when you guys come in here and you act like you're my friend, I'm all nice to you and shit. Remember this: if I don't see you on Twitter, I think you're a cunt. Remember that. I think you're a fucking cunt. No matter how I pretend to be to your face on this show, if you're not going on Twitter and you're not retweeting my tweets and it takes nothing on your part, I think you're a fucking cunt. And I don't care if you watch the show or not. You're worthless to me. All right? Okay, good. I just want to get that. I just want you to know how I really feel about you.
praise him. How's that? How's that for a slap in the face? Joe Rogan praises him. You know, Tim Pool loves him.
And none of these guys have a hard time getting people to retweet them.
Gives him carte blanche. He says,
I'm the one guy on the internet today
Florida's
telling you the
doing so good,
fucking
which it's
truth,
not, by
man.
the way.
You guys should
Florida's
appreciate
doing so
that
great,
shit.
It's all because of that man.
It's what the Democrats do. It's blue states
Phil,
that
you are
are
one
pushing
honest
these
mofo.
mask
Thank you,
mandates
Phil.
and these vaccine mandates. It is Democrats that are screaming about Omicron and saying things are getting worse.
Phil, if you were giving as much as I was giving to as many people as I'm giving to with this show, you would say the same thing that I'm saying to them, man. You would just be like, I totally get it, Nay. I totally understand. It's not just about me being honest. It's about me being right about this. And I am right about this. And all of you should be on Twitter helping me out. It's the only place we're going to make any traction. It's the only place we ever have made traction. And so many of you still refuse to just download the app and help me out a little bit. You know? I'm not telling you to go download the fucking Truth Social. You know?
And it's typically Republicans saying no to the mandates, backing away from this stuff, and saying more so individual liberty.
Cheers, guys.
Nick Brown. Show support.
The weirdest in
Thank you,
Florida,
Nick.
they have no restrictions. They've opened back up. They've decided to live. I saw Bill Maher talk about this. He's been touring the country as we have doing stand-up. And whenever you go to a red state, it's no restrictions, no nothing. Everyone's living their life.
Surrounded by Keith. Cheers.
You know, Jimmy Dore says, I don't promote or tell you to vote for Ron DeSantis. I never say that. I never promote Ron DeSantis or tell you to vote for Ron DeSantis for president. You know, he says you're a cunt if you say that about me. You're never going to show people these clips of me calling him out. You're only going to show one side, and you're going to try to make me look bad, and that's why you're all a bunch of cunts. And that's what he called me. That's what Jimmy Dore basically is calling me. My ex-friends, the cunts that make these videos about me. Well, let me explain something to you, Jimmy. You choose what to show your audience, and you forget that every single one of them has the ability to go on the internet and fact check you. And we're going to get into your sources here really quick. We're about to get into Jimmy's sources. This is where it gets really interesting.
You go to a blue state, it's a big pain in your ass.
So in saying what Jimmy just said, he's saying that Florida is great for comedians. And if you want to go to Florida, oh, Florida's great. You know, the way they're running Florida, the way they're... Adam Merkel, thank you for all the retweets, man. Holy shit, you got this, bro. You got this, bro. Thank you.
83. Twitter SPH.
Thank you, Adam. Holy shit. Nick, thank you. Nick, thank you. Thank you. My God. Okay, thank you guys. Wow. Okay, so thank you. Okay, cool. The couple of you guys that are doing this, thank you. Okay, I really, really appreciate you guys so much.
About this. He's been touring the country as we have.
Yeah, he's been touring the country as we have, and we're being free, and we're living our lives free. And states like Florida and Republican states let us live free. And, oh, I'm not saying that Ron DeSantis is great or anything. I'm just saying, wow, Florida.
Stand up, and whenever you go to a red state, it's no restrictions, no nothing. Everyone's living their life.
Everyone's living their life, you know, because people in California can't live their lives.
People in any blue state can't live their lives. God forbid you put a mask on and protect somebody else. You know, it's such an affront to his freedom, his personal autonomy. It's such an affront to it. It's hilarious how offended he gets by somebody, trying to just throw a little science down and trying to be a little bit cautious. And he's like, I can't do my live show anymore. I can't go to clubs anymore and do my stand-up comedy. It's horrible. Life is horrible. Well, dude, you're the one that chose the career of going around the world and standing in front of people in bars. That was your choice. You didn't have the foresight to see that maybe someday in the future there might be diseases going around the globe that might make that inconvenient for you. But that's what you wanted to do, and that's what you chose to do. Don't blame the rest of the world and try to convince the rest of the world that none of this is happening so that you can do your stand-up routine. Because let me tell you something, Jimmy, that's exactly how it plays, bro.
You go to a blue state, it's a big pain in your ass.
My heart bleeds for you, Jimmy.
So if you get vaccinated, do it for yourself, because it doesn't help anyone else.
What? Oh, I Googled it. How does me getting vaxxed help other people? Because the vaccine reduces your likelihood to pass the virus to others, getting a vaccine can help protect people around you, especially those who do have underlying health conditions that would make it harder for them to recover from severe disease. Wow, look at that. The vaccine reduces your likelihood to pass the virus to others. Huh. I didn't know that. Jimmy Dore always says the exact opposite of that. But to me, it's not about that. To me, it's about not catching it in the first place, man. If I can stay away from it, if I can social distance, if I can lock down, if I can wear my mask and just not catch the damn thing, and then when I get into my house, if I think I've been around people, I could put a mask on if I'm going to be around my father and my mom because they're older and they might suffer if they catch this thing. My father could die if he got COVID. But Jimmy Dore's not concerned about my elderly father who's 89 years old and got dementia. He doesn't give a rat's ass about my father. My father can't pay the $70 fee to go in and see a Jimmy Dore stand-up show, so he's worthless to Jimmy Dore. He's a non-person.
So California touted its vaccine efforts as a way to stop COVID until pivoting toward heavy mandates midway through 2021 when the spread didn't let up. Concurrently, Florida embraced having the least amount of restrictions in the U.S. and is now boasting better COVID data than California.
Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, dude, that data doesn't sound right. Look at Jimmy's little pompous look on his face. You're saying, nay, that doesn't sound right. Well, I want you guys to look at one thing. Look at this right here. What's this say right here? You see that? Huh. What is that? I've never heard of that. Has any of you guys ever heard of that? Tell me if you've ever heard of Outkick. Have you ever heard of Outkick? Any of you? Let me know in the chat. Try to be quick. Yes or no? Real quick. Have you heard of Outkick?
Surrounded B. Keith. Outkick.
Right. Surrounded. Have you guys ever heard of Outkick?
Surrounded B. Keith.
Thank you.
Never heard of it.
Me neither. So I was kind of curious. I was like, what is Outkick? Right? I was like, where does Jimmy get his information from? That statement up there. It doesn't seem factual to me, especially being someone who's lived in both states.
Josh G. No.
So, this is all interesting. You've already seen all this.
You can't vaccinate your way. Then we have Dr. Robert Malone on our show who explained you actually can't vaccinate your way out of a pandemic like this. And look at the countries, Singapore, all of them that are super vaccinated. Israel, they're having huge outbreaks of COVID. So once I figured that out, I changed my tune about a lot of things. One of them being mandates.
Okay, now what this chart shows is all of the horrible diseases we've had in the past that once vaccines came out, this is what it did to them. Diphtheria, 100% incidence. Reduction of 100%. A reduction in the incidence. 100% reduction in the incidence of diphtheria. 100% reduction in the instance of polio. 100% reduction in the instances of smallpox.
Keith. Vaccinations keep hospital visits down. We only have so many doctors and nurses.
Right? Rubella, 99.9% down. So don't tell me we can't vaccinate our way out of a pandemic. All right? That's just bullshit. And just because you know some doctor who says that it's not true, man, I just back you. I tell you, go look at the science behind it. Go look at the data behind it and see how effective, how prevalent these diseases were in their day and where they are today. I mean, hepatitis B is at 83.9. That's better than where COVID is today, I'm sure.
In fact, I don't know if it's still the case, but when we did the story a couple of days ago, maybe last week, Florida had one of the lowest COVID rates in the nation.
So, he keeps saying that Florida's got the lowest one in the nation, and then I show you, number one, why people think that. Number one, they're lying about their numbers.
Door is a schmuck.
Number two, there's literally Ron DeSantis fired a woman who was exposing Southern Florida for not revealing the COVID information correctly. And he fired that woman, and they went after her, man, because she was revealing what was going on behind the scenes in the state of Florida. A lot, he doesn't want to really go after that woman. In fact, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but I saw a podcaster try to debunk that woman for saying that she's not a reputable source because she had this going on in her life or whatever, and she was trying to get back at somebody or something or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that woman threw her life and her career away. She got fired for this. And all you can say is, yeah, she's dead this or whatever. She drinks coffee. She's a bad person, whatever. It doesn't even make sense. And that source, we're going to get into that source here. So just stick on that source. Remember the one it was called whatever, out, way out in the outfield, whatever it was. We're going to talk about sources here in a second.
That was so W what they did to her.
Yeah, it's called a smear campaign. And,
Surrounded
there's somebody who loves taking part in a smear campaign. It's Jimmy Dore. Jackson Hinkle does it too. They'll jump on whoever everybody else is jumping on, and they'll do it for the exact same reasons without checking their facts. And then turns out, maybe that person was actually reputable from the very start. And the only thing that makes them irreputable is these people talking so much shit about them. Bullshit about them. It's not even true. Outkick. Thank you.
According to two states' COVID data, as of November 6th, California's mean 7-day frequency of COVID cases, 6,288, has exceeded Florida's count by nearly 4 times their average, 1,473. California is beginning to see a resurgence in cases now that the vaccine approaches a time frame in which a dip in efficacy.
Now, once again, I'm going to point out his source is still Outkick. Okay, it's Outkick. And remember, he says he's a independent progressive, right? But this is Outkick. And what is Outkick? I'm going to show you here in a second.
Event proven to start 6 months after inoculation with Pfizer or Moderna's shot, and 2 months after Johnson & Johnson. So the vaccine efficacy wanes.
Look at the way he looks at the camera.
And it certainly wanes. It doesn't prevent you to transmit or get it, but
I'm so frumpy.
It wanes even in protecting
I'm so
you.
frumpy and pompous.
Reporting on the vaccine's efficacy
Frumpy
from
and pompous.
Outkick's Meg Turner.
That explains him really well. Here, there it is. Boom. Now let me hear what it was that he had just said right there.
Reporting on the vaccine's efficacy from Outkick's Meg Turner.
Okay, so Outkick's Meg Turner. Who's Outkick? Well, they're a right-biased media source. Do you know what that means? It means they favor people like Donald Trump, like Ron DeSantis, like Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens and Steven Crowder and Fox News. It's right-wing bias. And if you look at this, you'll see that their credibility down in the bottom is in orange because it's medium credibility. It means you can't believe a word that you get out of an article from them because sometimes they lie. That's what that means. It says, overall, we rate Outkick right bias based on story selection and editorial positions that routinely favor the right. This is what Jimmy does. You know, he's routinely favoring something and not giving you the counter story to it, which he thinks he does, but he doesn't. We also rate them mixed for factual reporting due to a lack of transparency, misinformation promotion, and failed fact checks. This is Jimmy Dore's source. Understand that. That's Jimmy Dore's source. Okay? That's the first source that we're going to cover. I don't know how many of you guys realized that I was putting these up. And I don't know how many of you guys realized that these were different pages. But keep watching, folks. This gets better.
Vicky, I think they call this bad faith, using shoddy sources.
You know, it's surrounded by Keith. It is done in bad faith. It's called toting a narrative. There's all kinds of things. It's called straw manning. You know, it's when you take, you know, things that might be factual, but you only use those and they don't have anything to do with your argument. And you try to use that to build up an argument. Or, you know, it's him obfuscating. It's hiding the truth from his own audience for his own personal gain. What is his personal gain? To get people out in the street and to his shows. That's how he gains. That's how he makes his money. He needs to get people out in the street to come see him perform. And if you look at when Jimmy Dore finally made the decision to start going on the road again, back, you know, in the middle of COVID, you'll see his whole attitude changed towards it. Hey, shut the fuck up, shitlib. Why don't you do a video about that? Jimmy Dore's attitude change towards, you know, promoting people locked down and wear masks and stay safe and social distance, you know, and then all of a sudden, come to my show, come see me live. I'm here. And then watch the way the narrative changed about COVID. And now it's all about Florida and Ron DeSantis. So here's one. That's the out, whatever. The Outkick. That's the Outkick right there. Okay? But watch.
Surrounded Vicky. Thanks for explaining that.
Moderna's two-dose COVID-19 vaccine, measured as 89% effective in March, was only 58% effective by the end of September. Meanwhile, the effectiveness of Pfizer's 2 doses fell from 87% to 45% in the same time. Now, when they say effective, when I used to read that, I used to think, oh, it's 89% effective. I thought it meant 89% effective in keeping you from getting it. But what this really means is 89% effective in keeping you out of the hospital. Isn't that what that means? That's what we looked up today?
Reduces. Yes.
Yeah, so it's 89% effective in keeping you out of the hospital or serious COVID. Now it's only 58%. Okay. Still better than nothing. Pfizer's 2-dose vaccine fell from 87% to 45%. So there you go. As for the Johnson & Johnson single jab dosage, efficacy plunged from 86% to just 13% over those 6 months. That's the jab Ron got. So again, what I'm saying is, and I'll say it again, and people will misquote me, and people will maybe not even play this part when they do a hit piece on me, but you cannot vaccinate your way out of this. That's why you see the counties and countries with the highest vaccination rates have also high transmission rates.
And once again, diseases that have been 100% eradicated from vaccines or close. And here's just a list of 8 of them. And let me tell you something else. Just because today we don't have the vaccine that'll knock this thing out totally, what's to say someday we do come up with a cure if we keep working on it? What happens then, Jimmy? Then all of a sudden what you're saying isn't true, right? Then all of a sudden you're misrepresenting science. That's what I'm saying.
let's talk about Florida real fast because this is a fascinating story. So, how did Florida?
So let me just say this. I know that Jimmy Dore puts up headlines all the time. But I'm going to just tell you right now, he decided to put up the headline and the photograph underneath because Jimmy Dore felt that photograph of Ron DeSantis, with his hands out there and squinting in the Florida sun, wearing a suit with the people behind him supporting him, was an example of what a great leader Ron DeSantis is. And I'm telling you, this is part of Jimmy Dore's bias, is to include this photograph here, where normally he'd just give you a headline, and that's what he does. It's all headlines, 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 tweets, 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 headlines, headlines, article content, headline, 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 tweet, tweet, tweet. No. No, he's going to start this one off with the photograph that makes Ron DeSantis look more respectable in his eyes. And I guarantee you, as a man, somebody who wears, man clothes and whatever, hair and whatever. Hey, man, if I didn't know who Ron DeSantis was right then, if I didn't know anything about his personality at all, I'd be like, yeah, it's a very professional, good-looking guy right there. That's doing some work, man. He's out there working, man. That's a good picture of a hard-working man. Turns out, I know everything that everyone else in the world should know about this guy. And if you know one teaspoonful of what I knew about this guy, this picture would make you throw up of Ron DeSantis, because you realize that this is part of his scam, is appearing this way and having the hands out there and being very warm and open and very calm when he speaks, and just being a very calm controller and a leader, and leadership qualities, and ex-military, and he's very, what's the word I'm looking for? He's got that it's very dignified the way he presents himself, and fatherly and monarchical. Is that a correct word to use? He seems like, like almost like down to earth, while being the working people's leader, and yet he's there, to fight the corporations, and that's one thing that these guys love, that Ron DeSantis does for his own, agenda. It's got nothing to do with really fighting big corporations, trust me. But when he does end up going head to head with the corporation, he paints it that way, and so does Jimmy Dore, Tim Pool, and everybody. Oh, he fights corporations. Oh, he's anti-corporate. Oh, blah, bullshit. This guy is a corporate nut job, and he wants to be the head of the fucking corporation. He wants to be the mob boss. But anyway, I'm sorry I went so far on this one, but Jimmy Dore is definitely putting up this photograph of Ron DeSantis here to try to make him look better in your eyes. Understand, this is what Jimmy Dore is doing.
With one of the best COVID-19 case death rates in the United States, despite...
don't vote for Ron DeSantis, but here's a very attractive picture of him being a leader and a great headline with me telling you how fantastic this headline is. But I don't promote Ron DeSantis. Oh, no. Me, Jimmy Dore, I don't promote him, and I don't tell you to vote for him. I'm just going to sit here with with my nice little collared button-down shirt on and my hair all nice and pretty on my podcast, and try to look just as respectable as Ron DeSantis is, while I show you what a fantastic governor he's being right now, in this instant, in this moment. I just want to share this moment with you. It has nothing to do with me. It's just about the COVID thing. It's just about the vaccines. It's just about, this or that or the other. Bullshit.
Governor Ron DeSantis is refusing to implement masks
campaigning for him,
or a vaccine mandate.
He's going to be supposedly running against him as president of the United States. Why is Florida doing so good? Because of this. Read that article.
So they have one of the best COVID-19 case and death rates right now, and they're not doing any shit.
Look at the source of where he got the information, guys. See, it says Daily Mail.
The peak of the recent COVID-19.
Now, I know a lot of you don't watch the show regularly, but can anybody chime in right now and tell me if you've ever heard me speak on the Daily Mail? And if you can remember anything that I ever said about the Daily Mail, let me know in the chat right now. Have I ever said anything about the Daily Mail in my live stream? If you haven't heard me talk about the Daily Mail,
You don't watch my show that much. You're just going to reveal yourself as someone who doesn't watch my show that much.
Florida. The state was recording 101 cases per 100,000 people and a 1.77 new deaths per 100,000 people.
Josh G. What HASNT been said? Ha ha ha.
Right? That Florida's
Surrounded by
number
peace.
4 in
I hate
deaths.
that paper.
Since
Basically a
mid-September.
tabloid.
Right,
Florida
Keith?
has been
Big
seeing
Merc
declines
83.
in its recording
Daily Mail,
9
no.
cases. So down from 101 to 9 cases per 100,000 and less than 0.2 deaths per 100,000 COVID cases.
This is dated July 24th, 2022. I knew it was going here. I knew this is where it was going to end up.
So
This
if you
is
had
Ron
gotten
DeSantis'
COVID
leadership.
before,
His state is now
1.7
4th
of
in
those people
deaths.
We're going to die. Now,
Per 100,000.
0.2. That's a big drop.
That's a big drop. Oh, yeah.
The declines are despite Governor Ron DeSantis insisting
Look at this.
the state would not shut down and refusing to implement mask or vaccine mandates and instead focusing efforts on early.
I mean, he's literally right there telling you all the horrible things that DeSantis does and acting like this is good, this is what works, you know? This is why this study has determined that Florida's doing so good or whatever, you know? This author from the Daily Mail. Just wait, guys. Wait. Just wait.
ago, Florida was experiencing the worst COVID-19 surge in the United States. The Sunshine State had the highest 7-day average of cases per day, as well as the highest hospitalization rate in the country. Now, with Halloween and Thanksgiving, the COVID crisis looks really different in Florida. Inexplicably, cases and deaths have been going down despite DeSantis implementing no new mitigation measures.
Where do you get this information from? Oh, that's right. Florida lies about their numbers. I've been telling you this for
Data
years.
from Centers for the Disease Control, the CDC, show Florida is recording one of the best case and death rates in the country.
Yeah. Now, how could that be when he's literally telling you that DeSantis is doing everything wrong, everything that doesn't work? How could it be? It's like he can't even reason his way out of this one. You know?
Surrounded by peace. Thanksgiving, isn't that in November?
Yes.
Additionally, the state is doing just as well as California, despite the West Coast state taking a very strict approach, including implementing mask mandates, limiting gatherings,
Sean, aka
and
Trendy
closing
Orca.
bars and indoor
Sean has
dining at
arrived.
restaurants.
Hey, Sean.
After one of the worst rates in August, CDC data show Florida is recording 64 cases per 100,000 people in a week, or 9 cases per 100,000 people per day as of Wednesday. This means the Sunshine State has the best case rate in the country behind California, Mississippi, Hawaii, Alabama, respectively.
It's like the same data, you know? It's just, here's the data, bro.
So, 3 out of those 4 states are southern. Out of those 5 states are southern states
Surrounded
that
by
have the
peace.
lowest rates.
That was before a big
Mississippi,
surge in
Alabama,
cases.
and Florida. At the time, doctors and public health experts said that DeSantis' laissez-faire approach was a gamble, but it appears to have paid off.
I love the way he reports this. Here you go. And now, look at what this one says. This one says, questionable source. Factual reporting, low. A questionable source exhibits one or more of the following extreme bias. Consistent promotion of propaganda, conspiracies,
poor or no sourcing to credible information, a complete lack of transparency, and or is fake news. Fake news is the deliberate attempt to publish hoaxes and or disinformation for profit or influence. Sources listed in the questionable category may be very untrustworthy
AKA
and should be
friendly
fact-checked
because Southerners are used to keeping
on a-
distance because
on a-
of rural culture.
per article basis. Please note, sources on this list are not considered fake news unless specifically written in the reasoning section for that source. Overall, we rate Daily Mail right, biased, and questionable due to numerous failed fact checks and poor information sourcing. Detailed report. Low credibility. Bright red at the very bottom of the page. Bro, this is where Jimmy Dore gets his information for his audience from. This is the second source, a completely right-leaning, low credibility publication. If you can't even call it a publication. But I digress. Wait, there's more.
Surrounded by Keith. He's ridiculous.
Yes, he is.
These metrics are despite DeSantis refusing to allow business and schools from implementing mask and vaccine mandates.
Once again, just telling you, they lie about their numbers. Florida lies about their numbers. Here you go. What's this? What's that? Look at that. Look at this. Right center bias. This is mixed, right, between mostly factual and low. So mostly factual is nowhere near very high. Understand that. So this is mixed between low and mostly factual. These media sources are slightly to moderately conservative and biased. They often publish factual information that utilizes loaded words, meaning words that attempts to influence an audience by using appeal to emotion or stereotypes, like strawmanning you, to favor conservative causes. Conservative causes. Right-wing nut job conspiracy theories, right? These sources are generally trustworthy for information but may require further investigation. Overall, we rate the New York Post on the far end of right-center bias due to story selection that typically favors the right and mixed borderline questionable for factual reporting based on several failed fact checks. Medium credibility, and yet a third source, right-leaning, that Jimmy Dore chooses to use in this show. Altogether, he uses right-wing nut job sources and expects his independent liberal, he invents people like shut the fuck up shit lib. He literally does. He invented that guy. He made him from nothing. He created that guy. And thousands, if not millions of other people just like him, who they think they have some kind of an understanding of reality, and everything that they're getting from Jimmy Dore is right biased bullshit lies. Look at it. You don't even need to snort a half a line of ultra super male vitality. I'm telling you, it is so ultra potent. I will only snort half a line of it in the morning, and once I do, I know that my right center bias is ready to go. And we've got a lot of right center bias here with Jimmy Dore. All right, so let's just keep going. We're going to renovate some more here, and we're going to smoke this bone. Cheers.
Surrounded by Keith. Lol, Alex.
That's monoclonals. You ever hear of it before, Joe Rogan? DeSantis, faced with COVID surge, urges Floridians to use Regeneron antibody treatment given to Trump. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is vowing to begin dispensing Regeneron monoclonal antibodies. The treatment given...
We've already gone over this. It's all about money for Ron DeSantis.
Is it like I'm not a fan of DeSantis? I mean, I'm repelled by him trying to reverse allowing felons to vote. him trying to make it harder for people in general to vote, him, supporting the far right Cuban mafia there in such a degree, and trying to ban Ben and Jerry's because they signed on to the BDS movement in support of Palestinian human rights. I mean, I'm opposed to DeSantis on almost every other issue, but on this one, you're going to see Regeneron become very popular, and people are taking it not as flamboyantly as they are in Florida, where DeSantis has made it kind of, he's flying the Regeneron flag, but people are taking it across the country. It's not just some kind of like right-wing MAGA thing.
Right, I know.
What? Good.
$3 million for University of Florida civics program fuels Governor
They did a
Santis'
great
agenda.
circle around my food before they ate it.
Do you want to know,
For KD3,
summed up in a nutshell?
going to elementary school to play with my daughter #Frisbee time.
It's what they warned you about when you were reading stuff like 1984 from George Orwell. They said people are going to try to control, right?
Look at
Right,
that
Doc?
smug bastard.
And now someone will clip this like they did last time to make it look like somehow I'm telling people to vote for DeSantis. And which I expect people to do. What I don't expect is for grown-ups to fall for it. Like my fucking ex-friends. Jesus Christ.
Marjorie Taylor Greene to be.
Let me just tell you this, Jimmy. You never report on the evil that Ron DeSantis does. You're guilty, okay? You make this easy for me. I don't have to cherry pick clips of you to make you look bad. I could play, if I had the time, I would play your clips in entirety from start to finish, and like I do all the time on this show, I do it. And I rip you apart all the way through, not in clips. Now, I did this for time's sake because you have spent so much time on this subject, Jimmy, that I don't know how else to deal with it. I'm not an expert video editor yet. I'm just learning. But as of right now, this is what I could come up with. Excerpts of you, talking about how great Florida's doing when they're not. They lie about their numbers, and we're not doing great here, man. The hospitals are overrun. It sucks, man. A lot of people getting sick, okay, and it really sucks. When you've got Florida in such a state, while you sat there smugly acting like, this guy did one or two things good or whatever, but I think he's doing such a great job with our rights and our freedoms and he's not. And he's not about that at all, bro. He's not about your personal freedoms. If he was, he wouldn't give a shit if a little trans kid wanted to approach a teacher in school and had questions about, becoming trans or whatever, because maybe his father is a douchebag, or maybe his mother's a piece of human garbage, and the only person he felt like he could talk to was a teacher at school, some sort of a mentor type person.
More like a dictator.
And Ron DeSantis wants to take that away from kids, man. He's an evil, evil person. And teachers have always been able to be open with kids, and kids have always been able to go to those people for whatever they need, and it's always worked. This motherfucker wants to come in there now and start controlling the way children can be. He's anti-trans. He's anti-LGBTQ. He's anti-black people. He's anti-woman. He's anti-abortion, of course. He doesn't want women to be able to have an abortion. You should see the anti-abortion legislation that he's passed in the state of Florida. I'm sure he had a trigger law ready to go.
Micromanaging.
President of the world.
If you're out there responding to a video that was clipped of me to make it look like I'm telling people to vote for DeSantis, you're a...
Before he starts calling me names, understand, I'm including this on my video, Jimmy. I put it in my video, so you could try to say that I'm clipping you and doing this. Hey, man, give me some anti-DeSantis stuff. I got Max Blumenthal on your show, not you.
But a guest of yours, saying what a horrible person Ron DeSantis is, you know, not saying much about it, just like, yeah, whatever. Look at all this great stuff he's doing for the people, the citizens of Florida with COVID. Look at this. Oh, he's lifting all of their freedoms. And, man, you could go anywhere without a mask there. And, oh, man, I just feel so free in the state of Florida. I could dance around like AOC at a big fucking festival, when I go to Florida. I could be like Nancy Pelosi coming down to Florida to go act free because it's so great down here. Because it's so restrictive where they live. That's the narrative, right, Jimmy?
Chump. And one guy did that. And he came out and he was tweeting about it, and then he protected all his tweets. Why? Because he's a chicken shit coward. One guy who used to be a friend of mine believed that clipped video, started tweeting about it, got his ass ratioed by a regular person, Russ Lewis, and then hit all his tweets because he's such a fucking cunt.
Wait, for everyone or just you?
Everyone!
What did I do? Why don't I get
because he doesn't want people to see that he got ratioed and that he's a fucking moron.
Now, let me just pause right there. Now, for Jimmy, ratioing people is, for some reason, he says, I've ratioed you, I win, blah, blah, blah. Dude, the only reason you ratio everybody you go up against is because you've got such a huge following that loves you so much, and they go on Twitter and they back you up, and they know how to do it, and they fucking do it. That's why, Jimmy. That's all it is. You've got a giant following. I used to agree with almost everything I ever heard you talking about. Then there were times where there was a little thing here, a little thing there, and I'd call you out on it. It wasn't a big deal. But then when this fucking pandemic hit, bro, I lost so much respect for you. So much respect for you. Because you ignore me. I hope you watch this video, or at least the one that I'm referring to right now. Either one will do. You can call me whatever name you call me, a cunt. You can say whatever you want about me, but I'll tell you this. Everything that I supply in these videos is just you. It's not me altering anything that you've said. It's the way you chose to represent Ron DeSantis in a very favorable way. And I'm here to tell you that Ron DeSantis is evil.
H has lost me on the whole C topic, period.
I'm here to tell you that Ron DeSantis is evil, and what you should do right now is you should go look into that. Go look at all the things that Max Blumenthal said.
The horse's mouth.
Why don't you do a show with Max Blumenthal, do an investigative thing, have Aaron Mate go and investigate Ron DeSantis as all the horrible things he's done to everybody. Why don't you go do that, Jimmy? I challenge you. Especially if you're going to be running for president of the United States. That's the motherfucker you'd be running up against. Depending on what party line you decide to go with.
That he's just as big an idiot as any Hillary voter. And it was pretty sweet. By the way, I got the screenshots of it. Somebody sent me the screenshots.
That's all that matters.
I have them.
That's all that matters.
I like what Ron DeSantis has done, to a certain degree. People have criticized him for his stance on BDS. When the CDC says COVID is surging everywhere. This is CDC data that I'm showing here on the screen. You can see that almost entirely across the country, except for Northern California, red. They're saying the transmission level is very high. So let me ask you, AOC, at a time when Florida sees a near 1,000% increase in cases, what about that was appropriate? What about that made it appropriate for you to not wear a mask? Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think mask mandates, for the most part, are insane. Masks, however, do work. Masks, however, do work. Masks, however, do work. Masks, however, do work.
Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay bill is one step closer to becoming law today. The controversial legislation says that schools cannot encourage classroom discussion about sexual orientation or gender identity. It set off a wave of debate over the rights of LGBTQ students and parental rights. Christian Bienvenidas from our NBC station in Miami joins us now with this. Christian, you know, when I was thinking about this, how is this different in terms of critics' eyes from, for example, talking about the women's rights movement when gender was a, central piece of that history lesson there?
Hi, Morgan. Well, to be clear, this parental rights and education bill is all part of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis pushing forth Republican priorities during this legislative session that appeal to the base of the Republican Party, what he calls anti-woke legislation. As far as this bill, Governor DeSantis has sidestepped the question for some time since this bill caused a nationwide firestorm. But this week here in Miami, he gave his clearest indication yet that he supports this bill, although he hasn't explicitly said that he would sign it.
We've seen instances of students being told by different folks in school, oh, don't worry, don't pick your gender yet, do all this other stuff. They won't tell the parents about these discussions that are happening. That is entirely inappropriate. To get into situations where you're not having the parent, you're hiding things from the parent, you're injecting these concepts about choosing your gender, that is just inappropriate for our schools.
And reaction here in Florida has been fierce. LGBTQ plus groups have organized, and during the committee hearing this week, over 100 people showed up to that hearing earlier in the week, and some 24 people provided testimony overwhelmingly opposing the bill, with 1 or 2 exceptions. But reaction is not just here in Florida, it's also coming from the White House. Take a listen.
I'm begging you today, do not pass this bill, because like so many LGBTQ kids, I don't know where I would be without the support of teachers like Ernie, Eileen, and George. There's an epidemic of LGBTQ kids hurting themselves here. Don't take away their reason not to.
Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay bill is one step closer to becoming law today. This as it makes its way to Governor Ron DeSantis' desk.
And now someone will clip this like they did last time to make it look like somehow I'm telling people to vote for DeSantis. And which I expect people to do. What I don't expect is for grown-ups to fall for it.
See, at a time when Florida sees a near 1,000% increase in cases.
What do you think? Let me know in the chat. All 5 of you. Because I guarantee you that this video is going to get seen by way more than 5 people. I promise you guys that. Because it's going up on all my channels right now.
Nice vid.
And I promoted it with the primer video. And the people are going to want to see what I have to say about the video now. So this is the follow-up video to that one. It's over an hour. I want to hang out with you guys. Let me cut this video and we'll start a new video, okay? It's just 5 people here. So I'm going to start a new video. I love you guys. You're going to get another notification here in like 2 minutes, okay? We're going live again, all right? I love you guys. But we got to keep this one short so people will watch it. Okay, I love you guys. Take care. I'll see you in 2 minutes. Bye-bye. And please send this to Joe Rogan on Twitter, at Joe Rogan. Send it to Tim Pool at Timcast. And retweet it at Jimmy Dore, Jimmy_Dore, CYA. At Jimmy_Dore, DORE, on Twitter, guys. Everybody, Nick Brown's already done it. Go follow Nick Brown and just retweet his tweets. Adam Merkel's been doing it too. You guys can retweet each other. Please get on there. All right, help out. Love you guys. Bye.